Alright, hello again everybody. Welcome to our next lesson here. This is the problems with cities. This is for our unit Urban America. So objectives and standards. You will be able to understand the living conditions of cities during the late 1800s in the United States, and you will be able to explain the problems that cities faced during the late 1800s in the United States. And take a moment there to look over the standards as well, please. And our desired result. How was city life difficult for Americans? How was city life difficult for Americans? So, wealthy families. The growing cities had different classes of people that lived in different parts of the town. Sorry about the typo there. It should be a period, not a colon there. Wealthy families established fashionable districts, and they relied on servants such as cooks, maids, butlers, nannies, and drivers, chauffeurs. Okay, wealthy families also spent a good amount of time, good amount of money, excuse me, on social activities. Middle class families. The growth of American industrialization helped grow the middle class. We're talking about doctors, lawyers, engineers, managers, social workers, excuse me, architects, and teachers were all part of the middle class. There were many of them that moved away from the central part of the city to get away from crime and pollution, and new commuter rails allowed for some to move out of the city to quote-unquote streetcar suburbs where they could have a larger home. Now that's not true for all of them, but some of them are able to do this. Now the working class. Very few working class families could afford a home of their own. They lived in crowded tenements or multi-family apartment buildings. Okay. Now you can see in this bottom picture here, this is a crowded picture of a tenement here. Many people living in one building, but you can see how very crowded and kind of cluttered it is. So that's what many immigrant families lived in. Now, while some working class individuals made more money than others, African American men, immigrants, and women typically made less. Children may have also worked, like you see here, and we talked about child labor before, many times in dangerous and dirty conditions to support the family. Some women took jobs outside of the home, such as domestic servants and cooking and cleaning. Sorry about the crazy chat. All right. So crime. A growing problem in American cities was crime. Due to crowded living conditions in cities, minor crimes, I apologize, such as pickpockets, swindlers, and thieves did very well. There were major crimes that grew as well, such as murder. Okay? Full-time police forces were relatively new and could not keep up with the crime rate as well. So we can see that crime is a difficult part of life in American cities during the late 1800s. Sorry about misspeaking and the typos there, or the crazy check marks again. All right, so pollution, disease, and fire. Even bigger threats in cities were diseases and pollution, okay? Oh, it's a huge check mark. Sorry about that. There was contaminated drinking water due to poor waste removal. Waste, I apologize, also led to diseases such as typhoid fever and cholera, okay, very deadly diseases that were a problem in cities during the time. Now, there were sewer systems, but pollution remained an issue, okay? And we'll talk about how that's going to change later on in American history, but during the time period, a very big problem for the cities and Americans. Streets were left with horse manure, chimneys coughed up smoke, and soot built up from coal or wood fire. So again, a lot of pollution, a lot of dirt, which also made people sick as well. Cities also faced threats from fire. Okay, buildings were made out of wood, could easily catch fire and burn to the ground. There were major fires in the United States during this time, such as the Great Chicago Fire in the late 1800s. I don't have a picture here of that here, sorry, but the Great Chicago Fire in the late 1800s. But newly designed steel buildings and skyscrapers, which we've talked about, help solve this problem somewhat, right? Because steel and metal don't catch fire as quickly, or catch on fire as quickly, I should say. So that will help resolve some of the issues of the fire problem in cities. So trouble at the political level. An informal political group created to gain and keep power as a political machine. Excuse me. Cities and their populations grew so quickly that governments could not keep up with the demands of citizens. They needed jobs, housing, food, security, and other things. Okay. Political bosses, or the people who ran the political machines, would provide people with those things in exchange for votes. Say you need a job. Hey, I'll get you a job, but you got to vote for me. Say your kid needs medicine. Hey, I'll get your kid the medicine, but you need to vote for me. Okay, so kind of conniving people or bribing people into voting for them. City finances were controlled by political machines who grew rich from fraud or graft, which is gaining money or power illegally. Political machines also controlled city services such as police department. Okay, such as police departments. Should be a S there at the end. Okay, sorry about that. Such as police department. So maybe a certain part of a city didn't vote for that political machine or political boss, and then maybe the police department wasn't as quick to respond to the crimes there that were going on. The most famous of these political machines was Tammany Hall, which was run by William Boss Tweed in New York City, New York. Okay, you can see him here. He was eventually arrested for his corruptness and sent to prison in 1874. All right, so our closure again. Closure. How was city life difficult for Americans? Think about the problems they're dealing with: pollution, fire, crime, crowded cities, child labor, even the political corruption that's going on. And that'll help you answer your questions, all right? Hope you have a great rest of your day and night. Please let me know if you have any questions or concerns, and hope to talk to y'all soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.